The 2026 World Cup starts in just a few days. I'm predicting the entire tournament right now using the simulator. I haven't built the bracket yet, but I already know I'm going to make some controversial picks. There's one favorite that I don't trust nearly as much as everyone else. I've got a dark horse I keep pushing deeper every time I think about it. Let's see if this bracket survives the tournament, starting with Group A. So, firstly, in Group A, we have Mexico, Korea, South Africa, and Czechia. The starting match of the World Cup is going to be Mexico versus South Africa, and that's really going to get the vibe going for the entire World Cup. And because Mexico is a host nation, and probably the host nation I trust the most with their rising wonder kid at 17 and Okocha, who always seems to perform on the international stage, I'm going to predict Mexico to take first here. Second place, I'm going to give to Korea through veterans, and I feel like Asian teams are getting doubted heavily in this tournament. I feel like Son can still guide them through this relatively easy group. And then third place, I have Czechia. And then last place, I have South Africa, as I know they have a lot of managerial issues and keep changing their lineup. I know that everyone thinks of them as like the World Cup vibe with the 2010 World Cup, but I just don't think they're going to make it very far. In Group B, we have Canada, Switzerland, Qatar, and Bosnia. This is a very interesting group as I don't really trust any of these teams that much, but Switzerland always seems to get through the group stages and at least get relatively far in these tournaments. So I'm going to take Switzerland in first. Second place, I'm actually going to go Bosnia because as we saw, they knocked out Italy during the qualifiers and have quite the journey to get here, and they're definitely a good wild card to go for. Third place, I'm going to go Canada, mainly on the reason that Alfonso Davies is set to miss the first few games. I feel like if he does play, then Canada could sneak up to second and get it through, but I'm not that confident in Canada as I am with other nations. Now moving on to Group C, which like the simulator says, is a very strong group with both Brazil and Morocco, who could both make it very far, and then Scotland and Haiti. I've seen Morocco play a lot, and I don't think they're as much of a dark horse anymore. And since they're more established of a nation, I think they're going to go into the World Cup with a lot of confidence. And I actually have them taking first here, with Brazil getting second as they're still adapting to Carlo Ancelotti. And I don't know how fit Neymar is going to be, and if the other players can step up for Brazil, as we've never seen like Vini play that well for Brazil, and not even like Rafinha either. And then third place, I'm going to go Scotland. And then last is Haiti. So don't think Haiti has the firepower to keep up with this group. Next, moving on to Group D, we have another weak group with the final host nation, the U.S. And I just don't think the U.S. are the team to beat in this World Cup. I feel like, again, this is a group that's none of these teams are going to go that far, but I have Turkey winning the group with USA getting second and Australia with Paraguay getting last. In Group E, this is a very interesting group because Curacao, the smallest nation to ever qualify for the World Cup, is definitely a cool story, but I don't think they're going to get very far. I feel like Germany should win the group and finally make it out of the group stage after their win back in 2014. I'm going to go Ecuador second, but Ivory Coast could also make a run, in my opinion, and I'm going to put them at third place for now. Group F. Now, this is one of the nations where this is one of my dark horses. I feel like Japan is consistently getting better and better at every World Cup. We saw them beat both Spain and Germany last World Cup and only lose to Croatia on penalties. So I'm actually going to go Japan first and then Netherlands second with Sweden in third. I feel like Sweden are dangerous, but I feel like with Alexander Isak's health not being that good right now, I don't know how far they're going to be able to go. Then we have Group G, which I feel like is another weak group. Belgium is going to probably win this group just because they got dealt an easy draw, but I don't think they're as good as they were in tournaments prior. Second place, I'm going to go Egypt, led by Mohamed Salah. After his fallout with Liverpool, I feel like or mainly Arne Slot, I feel like he's going to make some moves in this group. I feel like Iran will actually do pretty well, and I'm going to go for them in third place. Group H, I feel like this is one of the most straightforward groups. I feel like Spain is definitely going to win. Uruguay second, Saudi third, and Cape Verde fourth. I just don't see them getting out of this group. Group I, which many people consider to be the group of death, you just have to feel for Iraq here. Finally make a World Cup in so long and they get dealt this. I feel like France is going to top the group just because of their sheer firepower and their bench. They don't have to rely on like one or two players like Norway. And I actually think Norway are going to kind of struggle in this group. I feel like they're going to get third, and Senegal, with their experience, are going to get second. Group J, we have the defending champions Argentina. I feel like they're going to breeze through this group, even though they might not have as many star players. They have a top chemistry and they've been winning so much on the international stage. Second place, I'm going to go Austria as they're one of Europe's most underrated teams. And second place is very wide open in this group. I feel like Jordan just won't do that well, and it's their first World Cup, but I just don't see them making it past. Group K, we have Cristiano Ronaldo and the Portuguese midfield led by Bruno Fernandes, Joao Neves, and Vitinha. I feel like this is a super stacked squad and arguably the best squad Ronaldo's ever played with. They're definitely going to top this group. I have Colombia getting second as they were Copa America runner-ups, and they definitely have a good team. I'll have Congo third, and then Uzbekistan. I just don't think they're going to do much. Finally, in Group L, we have England, Croatia, Panama, and Ghana. I feel like England, although Tuchel made some controversial decisions, I feel like they can still top this group. I feel like Croatia, just with their experience, are going to get second. I don't think they're going to go nearly as far as they did in the past two World Cups, but I feel like they are going to get out of the group stage. I have Ghana in third, and Panama just won't do great. We saw Brazil destroy them a few days ago in a friendly as well. So the third place teams. Which third place teams do I think are gonna go? I feel like the Czech Republic, just off them being in a weak group, I feel like they're going to be one of the ones to make it. I feel like Scotland it's gonna be a little bit harder for them because they have Brazil and Morocco in their group. I feel like Ivory Coast and Sweden are both going to be teams that are going to make it. Norway is going to make it to the round of 32 at least. I'm going to take Saudi Arabia as well. I feel like they are a well balanced nation. Like Algeria and Congo will both make it. And then for my final team, I'm going to go Scotland. I feel like Canada gets out early again. Now moving on to the round of 32. This is going to be the first World Cup with this, and I'm very excited because it's basically just an extra stage of knockout football, which is always fun to see. First game, South Korea versus Bosnia. I feel like this is an interesting matchup, but I'm going to take South Korea here. Germany versus Scotland. Sure, I don't trust the Germany squad all that much, but I do think they're going to edge it out here, and Germany takes the dub. Japan versus Brazil. So here is where I have my first biggest upset. I feel like Japan are going to beat Brazil here, and Brazil are going to crash out in the round of 16. I see a lot of people predicting them to go far with Neymar's last dance, but I don't feel like I would like to be proven wrong, but I don't think Brazil will actually do that well at this World Cup. Morocco and the Netherlands, I feel like Morocco are going to be able to beat it. The Netherlands, their defenders just haven't been that consistent, and I don't really trust any of their attackers. As we've seen, Gakpo has not been playing that well. So I think they're going to crash out early as well. I feel like France are going to get the job done against Sweden. There's just no way. Ecuador Senegal is a very interesting matchup between two fun teams. I'm going to take Sadio Mane and Senegal because I feel like they do have some vengeance after getting robbed of the AFCON a trophy 2 months after they won it on the pitch, which is definitely an interesting story to see. Match 79, I feel like Mexico, just with their fans pulling up, they're going to at least make a run in this World Cup. England are going to farm goals against Congo. Great job, Congo, for making it to the round of 32, but I don't see them going any farther. Like Turkey, Ivory Coast is another good matchup, but Kenan Yildiz will drag Turkey past this. Belgium, Czech. I feel like Belgium will have enough firepower to get past here, but I don't know how far they'll go in total. And Colombia versus Croatia. I feel like Colombia actually has the edge on this one, I can't lie. And then Spain are going to make easy work of Austria. Switzerland are going to be Algeria. Argentina, Portugal over Norway. That's going to be an interesting matchup if that happens. But I do feel like Portugal do have enough firepower to get past there. And then I feel like the USA can beat Egypt. Now moving on to the round of 16, we start off with a heater, Germany versus France. And I feel like France are definitely the better team here, though. So I'm going to go with France. Japan and South Korea. I'm going to go with Japan here. And Japan is one of my dark horses that I mentioned early in the video because I feel like they have a strong squad and they play like a team very well. They play very fluid football, and I do feel like I see them making a run here. Morocco Senegal. This is a rematch of the AFCON final, and I feel like Senegal are going to prove that they deserve that and beat Morocco here as well, just because they have that extra fuel in them. Mexico England. This is where the host nations end off with the Mexico getting out. Colombia Spain. I'm gonna go Spain here. I'm sorry. Turkey and Belgium. I feel like we could have another upset here, and I feel like Turkey could low-key beat Belgium here, and Kenan Yildiz and Arda Güler just continue to win along with Chanaloglu, or definitely pronounced that wrong, but the inter midfielder. Next up, we have Argentina versus the U.S. Argentina are going to fry the U.S. in the U.S., and that's going to be quite funny. And then Switzerland, Portugal. I'm going to go Portugal here. I think you all know what that means, but we'll get to that last. Firstly, France versus Japan. As much as I want to pick Japan here, there's no way. I feel like that would be a generational choke job if France don't make it through the bracket that they've been dealt with so far outside of Germany. Next up, Spain versus Turkey. I feel like this is pretty similar. Spain, they're going to get past this. Senegal versus England. Okay, here, I mean, what's the World Cup without a little bit of an upset? You know what I mean? So I'm actually going to go Senegal here over England because I feel like just how Tuchel sets them up. Wait, can I really? I mean, I don't want to make such cliche picks, but I feel like, yeah, this is going to be an upset. I feel like Senegal, after that robbery of the AFCON, I feel like Senegal have a very balanced squad with a good defense. They're good in transition. And I'm going to have them actually beat England on a thriller game where I feel like Harry Kane could miss a penalty because the lights were just brighter than expected. Then finally, match 100. Very fittingly that it's the 100th match of the World Cup. This will maybe get more viewership than the final, which is crazy to say, but I could easily see like 4 billion people watch this game. We've never seen Argentina versus Portugal in an official match with both Messi and Ronaldo playing. And I feel like Argentina do have the squad and the chemistry, but I'm actually going to go with Portugal here, even though I am a Messi fan, so I would like to see Argentina win this. But I do want to see Ronaldo go far, as I respect both the GOATs. And I feel like Portugal as a squad, outside of both Messi and Ronaldo, are just so much better. I feel like Argentina is like sort of reliant on Messi, and their midfield is just going to get dominated in this game. I mean, I like DePaul and Fernandez and McAllister as much as the next guy, but against this Portuguese midfield, they're just going to run circles around them. And I feel like in the semifinals, this is going to be very interesting. France versus Spain, Mbappe and Dembele versus Lamine Yamal, Pedri, and all the firepower on Spain. And I feel like France are just the better team here because Spain on the wing, do we really trust Nico Williams after his club season wasn't that great? Their striker is also a question mark with like Morata or Yerzabal. Lamine Yamal is definitely the best player heading into this World Cup in my opinion, but I feel like the overall depth of France with Mbappe, Dembele, Olise, Doué, it's just going to serve way too much, and it's going to be surprising to see them get out. And then in the other semifinal, I feel like Senegal's dream run does end here, and Portugal have enough to make the final, and we have France versus Portugal. And I would actually like to be proven wrong here, and I don't really want to pick France, but I feel like they just have too much firepower. The drive is there for Mbappe after going back-to-back trophyless and see PSG lift to Champions League. His legacy is really on fraud watch right now, but we know whenever he puts on that France jersey that he always steps up. And I feel like France are going to edge out a thriller here. And we see 21% of people also picked France to win, with Spain 22% and Portugal 18%, which is interesting, but let me know what you think about my predictions. I did want to make some dark horse picks, as you saw with Japan and Senegal both making the quarterfinals, because just predicting the most quality teams for every game is just boring. And we always know that upsets happen. We saw Morocco make the semifinals in the last World Cup, beating both Spain and Portugal. So what's stopping a team like Senegal or Japan from making that same similar run? And I feel like a few favorites like Brazil and the Netherlands are going to crash out early. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe.